Hello students, this is Dr. Soundarya here. I'm here to explain you 17 CV61 Construction Management and Entrepreneurships Module number 3. The topic for today's discussion is safety measures adopted in different construction activities. Now let us move on to the video. The topic for this lecture is safety measures adopted in different construction works. In order to prevent accidents at construction sites, certain safety measures need to be taken in the following major activities which are prone to risk of accidents. In this video, I will be covering the following 8 activities and their safety measures: excavation, hot bituminous works, drilling and blasting, scaffoldings, ladders, formwork and other equipments, fabrication and erection, storage, demolition, safety against fire hazards in buildings. Number 1. Safety measures for excavation. In all works, an experienced and competent foreman or supervisor should look after the excavation work. He should have authority to enforce safety rules and prevent the use of defective or unsafe appliances. Before doing the excavation, a complete knowledge of underground structures such as sewers, water pipelines, gas mains, etc. must be gained. Safety helmets should be worn by all persons entering a trench where hazards from falling stones, timber or other materials exist. Whenever workmen have to excavate in trenches in soil which are soft or fissured rock or hard soil exceeding 2 meters in depth, the trenches should be securely shored and timbered. Heavy equipment such as excavating machinery and trucks, dumpers, etc. should be kept away from excavated sites at a distance not less than the depth of the trench or at least 6 meters for trenches deeper than 6 meters. At places where public is likely to trespass, fences or barricades should be erected to avoid accidents. At night, excavated areas should be adequately lighted. Sheeting should be placed against the side of the trench so that the length of each piece of sheeting is vertical. Where the trench is excavated in loose or soft soil, each piece of sheeting should be driven into the bottom of the trench so as to be firmly held in place. Excavated material should be kept away from the edge of the trench in order to provide a clear berm width of not less than 1/3 of the final depth of excavation. However, in special cases where disposal area is limited, the minimum berm width should not be less than 1 meter. Number 2. Safety measures for hard bituminous works. On all major works, an experienced foreman or supervisors should be placed as in charge. Guard must be kept against the use of defective or unsafe appliances, equipment and tools. Fire extinguishing equipment and first aid kit should be kept ready. Workers engaged on jobs involving handling of hard bitumen should use protective wear such as boots, gloves, goggles and helmets. When heating and handling of hot bituminous materials, it is to be done in the open. Sufficient stocks of clean dry sand or loose earth should be kept ready at the work site to cope with any resultant fire. When such materials are not available, arrangement must be made for adequate supply of water to extinguish the fire. Bitumen plants should be provided with safe means of access. Working platforms should be provided with handrails, pulleys and belts, and drive mechanisms should be protected by suitable guards. Compressors, electrical installations and other equipment such as elevators and conveyors should be adequately protected from weather, mechanical damage and dust particles. When bitumen plants are used on a public road, an adequate traffic control system must be established. As you all know, bitumen is most often used in roads. It is very important that traffic control system is properly established. Number 3. Safety measures for drilling and blasting. To transport small quantity of explosives of about 5 kg, specially designed insulated containers may be used, which are made of finished wood not less than 5 cm thick or plastic not less than 6 mm thick. The container should be waterproof and free from any metal parts like nails and screws. Vehicles to be used for transporting explosives should be in good working condition with tight wooden or non-sparkling metal floors and sides. Smoking is strictly prohibited at places where explosives are stored. Explosives should be stored only in a magazine which is clean, dry, well ventilated, reasonably cool, bullet and fire resistant. Magazine is a box-like structure which we use for storing explosives. Explosives and fuse lighters should not be stored in a damp or wet place or near oil, gasoline or steam pipes or any other source of heat. Leaves, grass or other debris of any kind should not be allowed to accumulate within 8 meters of the magazine because these pose fire hazards. Any package containing explosives should not be dragged, dropped or handled roughly, and these packages should be opened only at a safe distance from the package of explosives in bulk storage. No person should attempt to uncoil the wires and open the bare leading wires of the electrical blasting caps during the storms. Number 4. Scaffolding, ladders, formwork and other equipments. The following pictures shows the accidents that may happen due to scaffoldings and ladders. The third picture shows the correct and safe practice while using a scaffolding. Every scaffold should be securely supported or suspended and properly strutted or braced to ensure stability. All scaffolds and working platforms should be securely fastened to the building or structure. If scaffolds are to be used to a great extent for longer periods of time, a regular plank stairway wide enough to allow 2 people to pass should be erected with handrails on both sides. When work is being performed above a scaffold platform, a protective overhead covering should be provided for the men working on the scaffolds. The protection should not be more than 3 meters above the scaffold platform and should be made of planks. Ladders employed in heavy trades should not exceed 6 meters in length, and for lighter trades, ladders should not exceed 8 meters in length. During dismantling of scaffolds, necessary precautions should be taken to prevent injury to person from falling off loose materials, bracings and other parts of the scaffolds. Care should be taken to see that no uninsulated electric wires exist within 3 meters of the working platforms of a scaffold. All operators and supervisors of machines should be thoroughly trained in using the scaffolds and ladders. All persons handling construction equipment should be completely acquainted with the safety aspects of scaffolds and ladders. Safety in terms of both main and helping equipment should be considered at all construction sites. Unauthorized persons should not be allowed to handle or operate any equipment. Ropes, guides and connections should be thoroughly checked before use. Number 5. Safety in fabrication and erection. All equipment such as gas cutting and welding sets, drills, power hacksaws, grinders, etc. should be checked periodically to ensure their safe working. Moving parts of all equipment should be provided with safety guards. Rubber pipelines for oxygen and acetylene gas should regularly be checked for leakage or damage. Leakage of gas from regulators, pipelines or connections with the gas torch should be rectified immediately, or it may lead to bigger disasters. Workers engaged in gas cutting and welding operations should wear suitable gloves and aprons and use proper welding screens. Power cables for all equipment should be properly insulated and protected from damages and cuts. Danger signs should be prominently displayed on all poles to avoid accidents. All lifting tools and tackles such as wire ropes, U-clamps, shackles, chain pulley, block hooks, etc. should be checked thoroughly before undertaking erection work. All erection equipment such as cranes, derrick cranes, hoists, etc. should be thoroughly checked before use. Workers engaged in erection work should wear helmets and use safety belts to avoid accidents. Number 6. Safety in storage. Timber including sleepers, runners, scantlings, plywood, etc. should be stored separately in neat stacks. Adequate space should be left in between the stacks to avoid fire hazard. Smoking and open fire should be prohibited in timber yards and stores. Petroleum products should be separately stored. Smoking and open fires should be strictly prohibited where these products are stored. Only essential required quantities of such products should be stored at site. Adequate firefighting arrangements should be provided at site, particularly in areas where petroleum products and timber are stored. Explosives must be stored in proper magazines, and the prescribed safety measures for handling and storing of explosives should be observed. Number 7. Safety measures for demolition. On every demolition work, danger signs should be provided all around the structure and doors giving access to the structure. Barricades should be erected around the structure, and at least 2 exits must be provided for the escape of workmen during any emergency. During night time, red lights should be placed around the barricades, and entry of unauthorized person must be strictly restricted. At the time of demolition work, workers should use all safety appliances such as helmet, goggles, gloves, etc. In case of any danger is anticipated to the adjoining structure during the process of demolition, the adjoining structure should be vacated to avoid any danger to human life. The process of demolition may weaken the side walls of an adjoining structure, and to prevent possible damage, these walls should be supported until permanent protection is provided. The power on all electric service lines must be shut off and all such lines disconnected before the demolition work is started. This is very important to safeguard everyone from electrocution. All gas, water, stream and other service lines must be shut off before the demolition work is started. If there is going to be any accident and these things are not shut off, it may lead to bigger accidents. If a structure to be demolished has been partially wrecked by fire, explosion or other catastrophe, the walls and the damaged roofs should be braced suitably. No demolition work should be carried out at night, especially when the structure to be demolished is in a residential area. Number 8. Safety against fire hazards in buildings. Early warning system should be installed to detect fire and give fire alarm so as to protect the structure and its occupants. The early warning system commonly used consists of a smoke detector. All buildings should be designed to satisfy fire safety requirements as per codal provisions. Conclusions. With the increase in the number of accidents in the construction industry, it is becoming essential to educate workers in regards to various safety measures. Towards this end, safety campaigns should be launched at work sites. A continuing safety education program incorporating the use of print and non-print media will prove effective in reducing the rate of accidents. Safety measures must be considered an integral part of the construction activity itself. This will help in protecting life and property and in reducing the project cost. Hope you understood safety measures adopted in different construction works. Thank you for watching the video.